everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Praise. I wanted to share with you some of my journaling things that I was doing. I've talked about the Commonplace book in I think one or two videos, I'm not sure. And this is one of the videos that I recorded where my microphone was not charged and it went silent after the first 5 minutes. So I'm going to try to share that again. I don't remember everything I shared, so I'm hoping that I can at least share some of the things that I kind of remember, and then I will hopefully find the videos, at least a couple of them that I watched about Commonplace books that really inspired me, and share those in the description. So first of all, let's see. The Commonplace book that I first started with, and this was a while back that I saw these videos, and basically how I understand the Commonplace book is to have a catch-all with you, something that you can carry with you so that you can write down things that you want to remember. So for instance, like in this one, this is my first one, my little alien book. I got this at Dollar Tree in a 3-pack. I think I gave one to my dad, and these are the 2 that I have. So this is my newest one, and I'm hoping to find some more of these, which have been really hard to find. I don't know where to get things like this anymore. Dollar Tree doesn't seem to have them. Walmart, at least the ones around in Santa Fe, and even the one in Las Vegas, hasn't had this size, or they've had, I found these, I believe at, well, no, these were at Dollar General, but these are a little too small for what I want to do with the Commonplace book. These I will use. I'll show you what I'm doing with one of them. They'll be a little bit more specific for a certain category of things. But anyway, so in this one, what I started out with was in April, I started out with the measurements for my weight loss challenge. So I'm hoping to do those probably tomorrow, if possible. I'm going to try to do those tomorrow, or sometime next week, so I can get them done in May, because I did do these in April. And then I took some notes from my blood work. In the front, I just have like a little sticky note with some things that I needed to get. And then I did some like pen testing to see what color some of the colored pencils and stuff were. Excuse me, sorry. I did some quotes and different things from different videos. So this one is a mess, like I've said before. I think I shared this in my journaling, one of my videos, but it's just a kind of messy. There's a lot of different videos that I was watching at the time of Hashimoto's and the hypothyroid and things. So I do want to go back through this one and probably add a few of the things to my newer one, which I don't remember her name, but I will link the video below. She has a color coding system. And there's actually a few, I think, people that do. And I think one of the other girls that I watched also used this, the first one, I cannot remember her name, the idea that she had. Now, since this was where I started with, and I don't have the dot stickers. She had, the girl that did this has dot stickers that she got off of Amazon. The 2 that I saw, one of them had, excuse me, the bigger dots. So in her notebook is, I think it's a traveler's notebook, maybe. So it's a little bit bigger than this one, a little bit longer anyway. The other girl has these rolls of different colors of dots. There's a bunch of different colors. They're really cool. And they're a little bit smaller, so they kind of would work better in like this size of stuff. So what I did is I used, let's see, in this one, I used this highlighter and these pens that came from Diana, and I made a key. And I just did like a bookmark type of key that I'm putting in with a paper clip for now, because I don't know if I'm going to glue this in or not. I might, but I don't know. I'm still debating on that. But this is my key. I don't know if you can read that. I don't know if this is showing backwards or not in the in the video, but my keys are, the categories that I'm going to have are Bible. So that would be any type of scripture or anything Bible related. So if I watch a video and someone's sharing something from the Bible that I want to remember, or I'm reading a devotional or whatever, I'll write down a quick note in there. Now, eventually, I probably will have a Commonplace book that's solely for Bible and devotional related stuff, but that probably won't happen until after I finish my main journal, which is now my watercolor devotional type of journal. The next category is quotes. So this, what I've been doing is like if I look through Instagram, or there's times I watch certain videos that they will leave a quote at the end, or if they share something that I really want to remember, I will put down the quote and who said it. And if I do screenshots, I'll go back and do that and put those in there. My next one is health. And what I'm going to do with that one is I have one dot just for health. So I'll kind of show you what this looks like. So I have quotes in here. So you'll see like there's the key, like at the side. So this one is just a dot for the quote. This one here has a dot for a quote, but a dot for health as well, because this quote came from the Body Clutter book. And so it's related to health. And then when I get to the next one, I'll explain that one. But under the health, so if it's very specific, I will write down underneath the dot what it's for. So if it's diabetes related, I'll put diabetes. If it's thyroid related, or Hashimoto related, or arthritis, whatever, mental health, whatever it is, I'll put that underneath, so that when I go back, I can look at the dots and see, if I'm looking for something specific. And I've only done a few pages so far, because I have a lot of things that I got to go back and look at in my screenshots. The next one is journaling. So this one would include anything that I'm learning about journaling. So like on videos or whatever, if there's like an idea that I have for a journal category, or for a type of journal I want to do in the future, or any kind of advice someone gives on journaling, I'll add it to that. I have a art dot in that section. Will be for anything I'm learning on, like videos that I watch. I've been watching some art videos, because I started with watercolors back in March, and then in April I started sketching, and I've done some acrylics in between. Now, years ago, I do have an old sketchbook from, I think it was 2015, and there I think I was using just regular pencils and colored pencils, I think. And I didn't do very, very much in it. I was just like, I didn't know what I was doing, and I just kind of didn't really want to give the time to learn. So I did like maybe a handful of pages in that. So I still have that, which I'm hoping to go back and fill. I also have one from the sketchbook from 2021, I believe. And my mother-in-law, who's an artist, she did the cover page for me, which if I find it during this video, I will share it. If not, I'll share it in the video where I show my stack of journals. And that one, though, what I did in that is I did have the watercolors from Dollar General, which I've been still using, which are running out. They're just that pellet in a little case. And what I was doing then is just doing the background of just different colors. I wasn't really trying to do a sky or anything. It was just to color the background. And then in the front, I would just write either scripture, a poem, quotes, and then I just glue on different things. I either put stickers or glue on some type of printout that I had, or some rickrack, or some lace, or some whatever it was. So it was kind of like a mixed media type of thing. And I also put that away, and I never went back to it. So now that I have delved into doing art and things, I want to get back to those, and just maybe keep that one as a semi-poetry like art journal. So hopefully I can get into that. And so that will be where I put all the art stuff. Now my next one is remedios, which are just remedies, like natural remedies. So in that area, I will be studying different herbal remedies, natural remedies, and then it'll probably tie into, which I probably will eventually make a section for gardening. Now, due to the pain and things, I haven't really been able to do a lot of gardening. So my husband offered to get my garden together, and I can have a certain amount of things that will grow around here that don't require a whole lot of stuff, because he has some things that he already has planted. So we're just picking out some different things, which right now, like what we planted before was sweet mint, I think we have coming up. I'm not sure if our peppermint is still coming out. I'm not sure. We have a cat mint in the form of little Trudies, and also a cat nip plant, and which are all like in the mint family. And our cats really love that one, especially Rami. If you've seen one of my shorts, you'll see him out there in his plant. And when I used to go to the garden to check on the plants, if I touch his the catnip, somehow he knew I was in the garden. He'd come out of somewhere and run right to it. And if you were touching the plant, he'd hit you with his paw. He wouldn't hit you with his claws, but he'd smack you with his paw, like that was his. We had sage growing. I did have chamomile that didn't seem to come back this year. We did have like a lot of issues with weather and things like that. And my echinacea that I had for 3 years in there got dug up by my in-law's dog, and maybe my dog as well. I just saw her with it. And this was a little before, I think, we got him that happened. But I don't know, so it may not come up again. But we are hoping to put some of that down. And we do have, like, around my husband's pond area, we have some mint, we have some lemon balm, spearmint. We might have thyme still. We did have bee balm. Not sure if we still have some of that, but that will be like some of the things that we'll be doing, and that's what's going to go in that category. And we do grow a lot of sunflowers. We love sunflowers. That's my favorite flower. And then tulips, and then roses. But I love sunflowers. And so those, we probably will have a ton this year. I see a bunch of them coming up in different spots because, they just got away from us. They're out of the garden. So I may have one book just for that, just to kind of, so I can do some of the research and stuff for the things that grow around here, which we're in the Southwest, New Mexico. We are in the northern part of New Mexico and in the high desert. So there is, we're at about, I believe this area that we're in is about at 7,500 feet. But our soil is really hard. It's really clay-like. And so, it does take a lot. So we're trying to look for more native plants, and a lot of the things that we use in remedies and teas and stuff grow wild in this area usually. So I'm just trying to learn all of that. Now my next one is words. So we watched Park Notes, I believe is the guy's channel. And he talked about writing out his own dictionary. So as he's reading, I believe he said he's like getting masters or something. And I think he's a philosopher and a theologian. I could never say that word. Probably still said it wrong, but you know what I mean. So he talks about writing his own dictionary. So as he's reading books, he'll like block off a word and write down the definition, the origin, and a bunch of different types of things down in his book. So I decided to start off smaller and just having a category in here. So I have that one. And that's the first word I put in here. He was talking about logic, I think is one of the videos we watched, and he used the word, I think it was in one of the book titles as well, but compendium. And I just like the way that sounded. So I sort of knew what it meant, but I wasn't able to really explain it, or if somebody asked me what it meant, I probably would have been like, well, it's like that type of. So I wrote down this whole section down here, and all of this is part of that. And I just went through the origin of the word and all of that stuff. And then my next page is some quotes as well. So then my next section is YouTube ideas. So as I'm watching things, there's things that I really enjoy watching. And I thought, well, if it's something that I can add into, that will go with what I'm doing, but like be just an addition to it, I'm going to write it down and maybe eventually do that. Or I think I mentioned in one of the videos, it may have been one of the silent ones that I had to delete, but of doing kind of like a theme, either a daily type of theme or whenever I do the videos, whatever day they are, pick a theme for that type of video, or like a monthly theme where this month will all be all about this, but just different videos on one thing, different ways of looking at it. I don't know. I'm still kind of debating on that, but that's part of what's going to go in that YouTube ideas. And then my last one that I have here is dichos, which are just, in English, it's just sayings. So like, trying to think of one in English. Oh my goodness. The only one that comes to mind is in Spanish, and it's, dime con quien andas y te diré quién eres. And that just means, you know, tell me who you hang around with and I'll tell you who you are. Because, you know, and I know there's a whole bunch in English, but for some reason I can never remember them. But that's kind of what and it's because my dad said something this morning, I believe it was, or maybe it was yesterday. And so I had just started writing my morning pages, and I was talking to him, so I had it open, and he said, "El que busca halla," and so it's like when you look, you find. And I don't know. I mean, it sounds funny in English, but I know there's a way to say it that probably makes more sense in English. But so those are the kinds of things that I'm going to be writing down, just kind of to remember, and you know, about all the things that I grew up hearing, and even the remedios around here, you know, the natural remedies, herbal remedies. There's a lot of things that my grandma knew, or my great grandma knew. My mom did a lot, and I learned some, but I never wrote anything down. Now, my mom did write some note cards that my sister has. So my plan is, I was going to just copy them down, but since they're in my mom's handwriting, I think I'm going to just take pictures and print out the photo and put them in one of my journals, which will have to be a bigger journal for that eventually, but I want to do that. Okay, so now my next one, I think I shared this already, but I know at one time I couldn't find it, and I may have shared it, but this is my gratitude journal. I think I did this in a short. So at one point in time, I had a YouTube group where we did like online Bible studies, devotionals, and things. It's called Mended by Hope. So I did this in 2015. And it's just a piece of thread. I glued a button here. And it's just, I just cut up some regular white copy paper and just stuck it in a tan cardstock. And it's not straight, as you can see. It's just messy. But I kind of liked that idea. I was like, I do things kind of fast sometimes, and I don't take my time, so they come out like this. But what I've been doing with this is my gratitude journal, and I just have been adding stickers. I just put like little stars here, or this was some scrapbook paper that had some little green leaves in the back, and then I just added green hearts. So basically just kind of doing that. It's more cardstock, and then I cut it a little short, so I added pink here, and then just a sticker of a shell. And excuse me, I started this May 3rd, and I did May 3rd through the 6th, and then skipped a bunch of days, and I went 13th, 15th, 16th, 17th, and I think I did the 18th and 19th, and I think since then I haven't skipped anything. 20, 21, yeah, 20, the 23rd was the last one I did. So I will be filling out, I try to do them at night. I didn't do this one last night, but that's just something I want to do, is keep gratitude. And I thought I'd put that as one of my things here, but I believe that was in a different notebook. So another Commonplace book, very specific, that I'm going to be using is this one here. And this is a small composition. I do not like this, the plastic covers, I don't like them. These ones aren't too bad, but the bigger one I really did not like at all, because this one kind of, the way they set this one up is it opens here a little bit, so there's like the inner part, so like it'll lay a little flatter, but the bigger one doesn't do that, so it doesn't lay flat enough, and it just bugs. So I like the cardboard type ones, and I was really looking for the dot grid. Still haven't found them, but this is what I'm doing with my Torah studies. So I'm not able to go every Saturday, but when I can go to Las Vegas, I go to Margie's and we do our Torah reading. So it's the Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible, and so each Sabbath there is a section of that we read, and then there's also one section in the prophets, and then a section in the New Testament. So like last week we read Leviticus 21 through 24-23, Ezekiel 44 15 through 31, and 1 Peter 2 4 through 10. So I just took a quick bit in notes, and I do highlight in my Bible. I write in the margins, but I thought of doing this because I hadn't done that in a while, and I thought it'd be nice to have like one notebook for the Sabbath. So I just need to read the Torah portion for today, which I will do soon, and get that in there as well. Okay, so my next Commonplace book is this tiny one here, and this one is medical. So I decided to use one of the smaller ones, and you can see it's quite a bit smaller than the regular Commonplace book that I have. So this one, I have this here. So I only have 4 sections in here so far. I don't know if I'll add any more. That all depends on what happens. So this one, I have my primary doctor, and this, if I find yes, these are the colors that I used. I use these metallic markers. I think I have a purple one, but I cannot find it. So I use these ones. And they just say metallic markers. It just says conforms to ASTM D4236 non-toxic. But I don't know where these came from. They may have been like a Dollar General, Family Dollar, somewhere like that, because I know I've seen them before, and I don't think they were Dollar Tree, because I think they came in a pack. And I know a lot of times at Dollar Tree you can get stuff like this, but they're usually like 1 or 2 maybe. So I'm using that. So anyway, so it's my primary doctor, and basically what that's going to be about is I do put my doctor's appointments in my planner, which I'll show that too in a little bit. But this will be like when I don't have my planner with me, because it's bigger. It's like, compared to this. So there are times that I will take this with me, but sometimes it stays in the car, like I said, because my bag gets heavy. So I'll just take one thing down with me. And there's times that I get a call or whatever, and I need to write down my appointment and then transfer it there. So that's in here. But what I also did is I have a silver dot for symptoms and issues. So under my appointment, which I have my first one here, that's for my primary, and then right under it I have another dot, the silver one, and this is where I put the symptoms that I want to talk to her about. Now I may not be able to do it all in one visit, but that way I can kind of give her an overview of what I want to do, specifically do one that time, and then make the other appointments and see how that goes, because it's really hard to get in there. They're very busy. So, and I really like her, but I may have to consider getting someone closer over here, or someone that I can get in sooner. I don't know. I really don't want to do that, but we'll see what happens. So the next part is for CBS, which is community-based services. And that is where I have psychiatrists and community service workers. So these are, I'll be putting in there when I go there, and if I need anything from there, and whatever, because I do go there I see a psychiatrist every 3 months for like med review, and sometimes she'll ask me about blood work and different things because they like to check those things to make sure everything's okay with the types of meds that I'm taking. So, and then yesterday, which I have not dotted these ones yet because I am not exactly sure where I'm going to dot these. I think some of this ones actually will be considered specialist. I was going through my chart yesterday, and there's a lot of things that I have that are, I guess you could say, overdue. So I've got to do some of those things. So I have like a spot for specialists in here. So that's the green dot. And so like I have to do like an eye exam. So that'd be considered like a specialist appointment, which that's not going to be till September. It's really hard to find someone to take the insurance that I have. And then I do have to see a rheumatologist, the rheumatologist again in June. And then, you know, just different things like that. So I have all those things written in here. And then when I do think of things that I need to ask them, I will write those down beneath it in like a little bullet point. So this way I can carry this with me and it's not very heavy. It can go with my phone. And then in the back of this, I just have like my cards for like the phone numbers that I need for CBS, because they have like the crisis line and medication line and all that kind of stuff there. And then in the back, which I think I transferred some of this, I'm not sure yet, maybe not all of that, but I had started this in my old one, so it's just a green sticky note here, and it was for symptoms that I was going through, a different test that I would like to have done for through the doctor. So that's kind of what this will be about. So this is going to be like my go-to for medical stuff. And then my next one is another one like the green one. And this one, I still don't know. It's going to be mostly, maybe I'll call this my journey to healing, because this is going to incorporate a lot of trackers. So I want to, I'm debating on probably this one and this one to do some acrylic paints in the front, just do something. But in here, I just put a scripture on the front here as a printout. And it says, what is impossible with man is possible with God. Luke 18:27. And just a reminder that this may be hard, and it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of effort on my part, and just, you know, continuously getting up when I fail and doing it again. So my first one is weight loss. So and on this one, I used some washi tape. I just kind of blocked off a piece with some, I think I used a pen on this one, and I have my goal is for a loss of 2 pounds a week. And then I put down the months on the side and then the weeks here. So some months have 5 weeks, so I put up to 5 weeks there. And then I just have some printouts that I got from a friend, a sister in the Lord, and they say, saved by grace and have faith. So here, I didn't completely start tracking weight loss like in a monthly or even weekly fashion until like probably I started more in March. I've done a lot more in April. I've skipped some in May, but I want to add in up here where I was at my highest weight and when that was, and when all this started, and kind of go from there. As of right now, I'd have to check because I haven't really checked how much I've lost. So I'm going to do a weigh-in once I put together the new scale. I just have to put batteries in it and that, but I'm waiting to start it at the beginning of the week, which will be tomorrow. So because the scale I use now, like I said before, is an older one, an older model, and that's in the house, and I kind of want to have one in here in the cabin so I can do it easily whenever. And pick, that way I can have a weigh-in day and it'll just be a lot easier to remember. Okay, so then the next one is my pain management scale. So on that one, I just use washi tape and some colored pens. And the scale is obviously the 1 through 10 scale, with 10 being the worst. And then here, I'm just marking the number of how I felt that day. And if it does change or fluctuates to the day, if I remember, I try to put it down. And then just kind of where it's at, and where the worst of it is at, I guess. And then this way I can also take this with me to the doctor. My next page is pain reduction ideas. And so I used washi tape, and this here came on an envelope that came from Trish. So I think she drew that in and colored it in. So I decided to cut it out and add it to this. I haven't put anything in there because it's something that I want to think about and see what will work for me. And then this is my habit tracker, and I have a little sticker here, and I just used some washi tape, and I just did this with pen, and I just highlighted the habit tracker area. I added the start date as I had added it the 24th, but I never actually filled anything in, so I started the 25th. So I started that today. So I'm just, my habits that I'm tracking right now are drinking water. And so like I only have 10 days here on this page. That's all that fit. So I left some blank pages, and I don't think I have any other trackers. So I'll just be doing some more pages in here. So I'm just marking a little bit when I start drinking water that I've drank at least 2. And then if I can fill in the whole thing, that means I drank enough for the day, that I know I've gotten my water in. My morning pages, journaling, painting, gratitude journaling, walking, sitting outside. That's something that I really want to start doing, is getting out into nature, taking meds, reading the Bible, even tracking, let's see, I have showering on here, because with depression and all that type of stuff, sometimes showering just becomes a chore. Plus, I have issues with extremely hot water, so I have to I never really noticed it, I guess, but if I more recently, in the last 6 months or longer, you turn on your water so it can get hot. When the bathroom starts getting warm, like too warm, I get sick. I'll get really dizzy and I'll get really nauseated, and so I have to remind myself it's going to be fine, just go and have a warm shower. And every time I do that, I feel better and everything. I just need to it's that idea of I think it's like a trauma response of, okay, I got sick when I took the shower, and now it's stuck in my head, you're going to get sick, even though I know I'm not, if I just do things correctly for myself. But that was another thing I had to learn. And I think I'm tracking it more just to remind myself that this is something that's good for me and makes you feel better, just like walking, just like sitting outside, just like drinking your water. These are things that just make you feel good, and these are self-care things. And that's another thing I do want to add in here, some self-care type of other ideas, like deep breathing techniques, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm trying to add in to, maybe not daily, but weekly or whatever, whenever I can get them in, but start making habits of these things for anxiety, for depression, for just overall feeling better. So another thing I think I'm going to add in here is reading books, because I haven't been on my reading game really. So I do have this one that I'm reading right now, but I would be probably halfway done by now in the time that I've had this book. I just haven't gone back to it. So I want to do that, because I did sort of a tracker at one time back in, it's been a while, when I was still living in Las Vegas. So it has to be 7 years ago. I was tracking how many books I could read that I got from the library, and you could check out 5 at a time. And I think within a month or 2, I read over 100 books. Granted, they were easy books, a lot of them just 300, 400 pages, some a little more, but I mean, it was just, I just enjoyed it. It was really nice to just kind of track what I was reading. And then I haven't added this in because this was from my bigger journal, the one I say I didn't really like the way it open, but it is a dot grid. So I may like use that as tip-ins or something, like cut it up and use that. But this is my food tracker. And all I've done here is I add breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner. And breakfast has basically just been coffee with the coffee bombs and monk fruit in it and water for 23rd, 24th, and 25th are the days that I've tracked. That's breakfast. I've had on the 23rd, I had a snack of one of those squeezable baby foods, apple, blackberry, spinach. I had lunch that day, and then I had a snack of these. I had like about 6 or 7 of these banana puffs as a snack, and then dinner. I don't know. I didn't put it down. I don't remember what I had that day. And then underneath, I have this space so that it could kind of what I'm feeling after I eat certain things. So I did, like yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I had coffee, water for breakfast, no snack. I had an appointment. And then I ate with my dad, and that food was good, but for something made me sick. So I think it's just a food sensitivity to something, and it might be, I don't know, dairy. It could be the gluten in it, something like that. And on my way home, I had a snack of a beef stick and a handful of goldfish pretzels. And for dinner, I got here pretty late, so I just had half the burger that was made, and I gave my husband the other half, and I ate a handful of chips and some veggies and some cherries. And then today I tracked this one, and it's just, like I said, coffee, of course, and water for breakfast, no snacks. And then lunch, I did a short earlier of my lunch, which was these munchies, which are just pickles, like little pickles about this big in a bag of pickle juice, and one of the little tiny to-go Jif peanut butters with some of the matzah kosher crackers that I have left over from Passover, and a small banana, and then water and the rest of the coffee from like this morning. I got that coffee like at, I don't know, 7:30 maybe, and we didn't eat lunch till about 12 or 12:30, and I still had coffee. I was used to drinking like 4 cups of coffee, and when I switched, right before I switched the creamer, I went down to 2 cups of coffee. And then when I switched my creamer, I've gone down to 1 cup, and that's if I finish the whole cup. I don't know. So, which is a good thing because I have my Keurig, so I just need 1 cup and I'm good. And then I can make tea in my Keurig. So that's what I'm doing with this. I'm not sure how I'm going to incorporate this because it's kind of a bigger sheet of paper. So for now, I'm just going to leave it as is and somehow incorporate it into this, or take these pages out of this one and put them into, if I can find either a spiral bound dot grid or a dot grid with this type of cardboardy type of thing. I don't know. So this is getting pretty long. So I think I will end that there, and I will share more of maybe my sketch pads and all of that stuff in another video. Do you guys do any journaling? What type of journaling do you do? And what do you have any ideas for some of these commonplace categories? And do you have a commonplace book? And if not, are you thinking of starting one? And do you think they'd be helpful for you? All right, I will see you in the next one. I hope that you have a blessed afternoon. I will see you next time. God bless you. Bye.